All right, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. I am your caster this evening, Bahamut. We've got a Nexus Gaming Series matchup on our hands. On the left-hand side, we have Team Conflict, and on the right, we have Drop Dead Gorgeous. This is Division B Western. So these teams are matching up for, I believe, the first time this season, and I honestly can't say that I'm anything but excited. Drop Dead Gorgeous, pretty strong team from last season, and last week, casting Team Conflict, we saw that they were pretty strong. So, either way, this is going to be a good matchup. Just a side thing to note here, Drop Dead Gorgeous did win the coin toss. They will be, banning out Dragonshire, meaning that Team Conflict will have the second ban, which is going to be Braxis Holdout. First map is going to be Curse Hollow, and then we are going to be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 2. But either way, let's get into game number 1 here on Curse Hollow. On the left, banning first for Team Conflict. On a map like Curse Hollow, you often want to consider a lot of the things along the lines of global, as well as there are the factors of, you know, that multi-lane soak, that TLV, that t-shirt that I put on today. It's just something else to consider for this team up. But mostly I don't think it's going to be a first ban in this situation. Mostly it's going to be like a Dahaka or something a little bit on the sneaky side. Sometimes we see a Valera. Often, at least in my level of Hero League, I've been seeing a lot of Sylvanas bans. If not, I also personally ban out Sylvanas because I don't want to deal with that. Like... It's just so annoying because it's a lot like an Asmodan or really any specialist like a Murky or anything like that. Anything unchecked can completely just be such a nuisance and so annoying to deal with. So getting that out of the way is great in my opinion, but they go ahead and they get rid of the Genji here, and I really like that. A lot of mobility with him, as well as a lot of good just reset for a lot of these team fights. But Team Conflict gonna go ahead and just pick up that ETC right off the bat. I really like that also. Strong tank. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them. Speed Cuber MK, thank you for swinging by. Go Conflict. Glad to have someone cheering. On the left, though, that ETC. So Team Conflict picking that up. Versatile hero. Can pretty much be global. Can be just great in a team fight with that mosh pit. So overall, just a huge threat to start this out with, and I really like that. I really like picking up the ETC in that first slot. But they respond from Drop Dead Gorgeous. They're going to be picking up this Greymane Lucio. Div B is the new Div C anyways. Dang! Div B is the new Div C. Holy crap. So what does that make Div C? Does that make them Div B? Or D? Or I guess would it all just be one big Division B? Do we just start splitting into regions? Like, do we just go north, south, east, west? Like, we just do the cardinal directions? But either way, let's get into this. They pick up that Greymane Lucio, which is phenomenal for this map. Greymane offers a lot for wave clear as well as team fight. Just good poke. He's got good camp, sieging. He's got overall good lane sieging. Lucio just offering a lot of good AoE healing for the team. To break it down is a very viable and powerful tool for a team at 10, as well as the everyone calls it the boop, and I really need to learn the actual the name for it. But the boop is really good for a disengage for the ETC's mosh if they do go into that. But Falstead actually going to be picked up here with the Stuke off. I really like these. So the reason, looking at this a little bit, I'd look at it and be like, oh, Falstead Gust will anti-synergize with Mosh, but they don't have to take Mosh. Like, they could just take Stage Dive, have that, which is, I've honestly taken on this map as an ETC, and I think it's a very viable and very powerful talent. But you have Gust for boss control, you have Silence as well, so you have a threat for a Mosh if you do want to do that. You can also Gust into a corner and power slide in. You've got a 5-man Mosh. So there's a lot of good setup on the side of Team Conflict right now. I really like what they've picked up going into this ban phase. But it looks like Drop Dead Gorgeous, they're going to look at their draft and say, you know what, they still kind of need that solo laner, and Sonya's really good on this map, especially with all the camps available, with all the rotations that can be made, and she's pretty good at soloing most members of a team besides obviously that Greymane. But if I'm on the side of Team Conflict and I'm looking at the draft of Drop Dead Gorgeous, I go, you know what, we got to prioritize the tank here, and who is going to make our lives miserable? The consideration, in my opinion, is either Tyrael or a Nubrek, potentially Garrosh. I don't know about this. I don't like. I'm not saying it's a bad ban. I'm curious if it's gonna show. Div C is best division heart. Well, there you go. I'm glad Speedcuber's honest. Speedcuber MK. I'm sure we've discussed this. I'm sure you told me what I should actually say for chat, but I always forget. Either way, let's go ahead. Figure out the last little bit of this draft here. On the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, they're going to be picking up 2 more members. I wouldn't be too surprised to see the tank, obviously, and maybe their solo laner with that. They could honestly go Arthas. He's got a lot of good sustain. And then I really like the idea of an Anubrek for a web rep, but Tyrael could offer some really, really good boss control with Sanctification 1, and 2, the Holy Ground is a really, really good tool at 16, especially on a map like this where zoning and control are pretty powerful, and they've got a team that will work with the Tyrael. If Tyrael does dive in, they do have the Greymane, and so, And I still like the Arthas, honestly, for the solo lane. Okay. Hold on one second. I gotta check. Is Becca Murden banned? Sorry to like stop midstream, but I'm still the referee too. So let me just go ahead. I gotta pull up the rules really quick. I have it. I kind of actually have it on. There you go. Ooh, website's updated. All right. Matches, maps, hero skins. All right, I'm just gonna let them know that there are skin bans because I think that Mecha Murden is banned. Let me just double check. Okay. Yeah, because like that one, it just popped up to me, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, that one I know is banned because I've heard TC needs to ban him. Okay, so let's go back and sorry, I had to do a little bit of refereeing there, but I just want to make sure that we still get into this match, and there's we don't have to do a reset. That's the big thing here is like not having to do a reset. So we do actually get this Leoric Chromie, and the Chromie, I can agree with it. It can be really, really terrifying. The Time Walker's Pursuit at level 1 offers a lot of good vision, a lot of good ability to see around the map. Falsett's going to offer that control with the Gust post 10, so they do have that vision movement. Leoric is just a good solo laner for this position, as well as just the damage reduction that he can provide to a team. Also getting in there with the setup for a potential, if he entombs, it's a good follow-up for Mosh, as well as stage dive. I mean, realistically, like you entomb and you gust them in there, you can mosh, you can stage dive them. It's terrifying. You put a silence there. Chromie just dumps sand, but that I didn't expect. An Abathur pickup here in the last slot. A lot of good clone targets. It's a very good map. Oh no. It's just like really quickly, like Striker Li Ming. That one's banned out as well. Like we can't use those. All right, that is going to be wrapping up our draft. Sorry that I had to like midway change pace here. I just want to make sure that teams don't use the wrong skins. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this matchup here. I really, really like this draft on the side of Team Conflict, but at the same time, the Abathur poses a really interesting element to this map. Like I've been saying that my 2 cents of the current system meta, I guess meta would be the proper. But overall, my whole opinion of it is that like a lot of the later game heroes like Abathur who need time for that just like slow push to the lanes and stuff, he kind of is a little bit weaker in this area where pushing is very powerful. Now there were changes that went into the towers and it seems to have balanced things out a little bit, but I mean that's kind of air quotes balanced out. we'll realistically see here. I'm not too sure myself. I saw a couple games last week. I actually saw quite a few games last week. It seemed like, honestly, it's still just that push power wins it over. But either way, let's go ahead and get into this. Game number 1. Oopsie, there we go. On the left-hand side, we have Team Conflict with Snarky Tiger on that Leoric. We have Rexpa on the Chromie. Taki will be on that Stukov. We have Joker 490 Frozen on the Falstead, and Quantaka on the ETC. So for one second I thought I was like, hey, Sergeant Hammer. No, that's not right. And on the right-hand side, we have Drop Dead Gorgeous with Trent on the Li Ming. Gelda will be on that Muradin. Pugs Not Drugs on that Greymane. Chaos will be playing the Abathur, and Unitas will be on that Lucio. So that's the Time Walker's Pursuit right there, exactly going into perfect effect. We actually have Rexpa going ahead and just diving right down to the bottom lane. We also have Snarky Tiger just going to be staying out in that top. So they realistically don't care too much for this this first fight that's going to be happening here in the mid lane. Realistically, they're just going to be soaking their own lanes and just playing it kind of safe. Li Ming going to go ahead and go into bottom, so it's going to be Rexpa versus Trent here. And this is going to be Mage versus Mage. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw this is like a solo lane matchup. And then going ahead and just peeking at the top, we have Snarky Tiger versus Chaos. I'm assuming someone should be rotated up there eventually, but we'll see. Definitely that Abathur can't be on his own. Looks like Pugs Not Drugs is waiting for this Bruiser camp to spawn right at exactly 1 minute, so you can go ahead and pick that up with Unitas. And this is interesting. I haven't seen... This is an early priority onto this camp that I've never seen before. Typically we see, this is obviously with old timers, we would see at the 2 minute mark, teams would get the siege camps, but since the camp spawned a little bit earlier, we're also seeing this on the same side of Team Conflict. At 1 minute, looks like they're going to be trying to pick up their Bruiser camp as well, but we actually go ahead and we have Li Ming falling in the bottom lane to the Chromie, so that's going to be first kill of the game going over to Team Conflict. Now, in this mid lane, we do have Gelda taking a little bit of damage, but they're trying to get this ETC here. It's not going to be working out, unfortunately. So these camps will clash in about the middle. It was picked up a little bit sooner on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, but either way, it still will clash. They're going to go ahead and get the clear on this fairly quickly on the side of Team Conflict, and that will leave their camp to push up a little bit. Now, Gelda did go down, and Rexpa will be just kind of poking him back a little bit here. Meanwhile, though, just to note, still in top lane, it looks like Snarky Tiger has been pushing this up just against Chaos. And he's been getting a little bit of sieging, but it does also, the other thing to consider here is that that's a Leoric, so the siege power from a Leoric isn't the craziest thing in the world. Now, we do have a flight from Falstead over to this camp. Looks like he will be trying to sneak this, but Unitas is going to boost on over. Rexpa going to be coming down over here too. Going to go through the vision. Looks like they will have that, but we also have Pugs Not Drugs coming in here. Frozen 49. Excuse me, Joker 490 Frozen will be falling, and they still end up picking up this camp. We actually have Pugs Not Drugs taking a little bit of damage here, but Rexpa not going to be able to survive through this. Unitas is a little bit low himself. Actually, we do lose the Stukov very quickly there, but we lose the Chromie as well. Now, we do have ETC getting Storm Bolted, but it doesn't look like there's the follow-up. Plus, there is also the Tribute spawning here in just a second, so they're going to be one of prioritizing that. Speedcuber MK, you are not wrong at all, but unfortunately, the Chromie cannot stall out because they have that nice little team fight. But you do make a good point at the time of the game. That's because there's a delay for me, so I'm reading your message 2 minutes later. Either way, I mean, this is very early game. We're 3 minutes in, but at this point, Chaos getting pushed in here by Leoric a little bit. We also have Joker 490 Frozen back. He will be getting this camp. It looks like the bottom lane is going to be Rexpa and Taki just pushing this back. Meanwhile, Pugs Not Drugs just going to be staying here for the soak. But in mid, we currently have a 30-second counter on this next curse point. Well, I guess it'd be more of a tribute. Snarky Tiger taking a little bit of damage there from Trent's poke into that lane. Just whittling down a little bit of health is pretty powerful. Looks like there is a retreat that's called out. I don't know if that's for the members of Team Conflict or Drop Dead Gorgeous. Currently have a poke going out from Rexpa trying to scout out that bush. There is the slide in onto Gelda. He does have the jump out There is still the Spectral Leash, though, from the Leoric, so he did have a little bit extra damage going out. Li Ming offering some poke. There is the Stukov for the zone there. Snarky Tiger gonna get delayed out by Trent, but gonna get chased away by Joker 490 Frozen there. It looks like Snarky Tiger should have this. Yes, it's going to be 1-to-1 in tributes, and they should just be able to disengage from this without a problem. Meanwhile, though, just a side note, Abathur has been body-soaking bottom, also hatting some of these people during this team fight, so they do offer a lot of good value there. And the other thing to note, while we have this kind of downtime in between these tributes, is that Abathur did go into that mule talent, so just that top lane, if he can get a couple more up there, will be a little bit healthier, though they do end up getting that one fort. Peeking into mid lane, it looks like we do have pretty even matchup overall. It's just going to be clashing into mid, but at this time we do have this next tribute point, and it's not, curse point or anything, but it still is pretty important because of the fact that it does skyrocket that team into, that potential curse value for the next one. But a lot of posturing on the side of Team Conflict. We do have Chromie currently rotating up, should be there without a problem. Abathur going to be body soaking that bottom, and here's the thing with Abathur in this situation is that they can't really take these fights because the fact that it's every fight for them is 4v5, and all they have is a hat for a little bit of extra, bonus damage, speed, nothing too crazy. It's a speed bonus, if anything, to an auto attacker, which is Greymane, who can't really get into there because, well, there's just too many things stopping them. So without 10s, it's very, very hard on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. But once they get that, I honestly see them. They're going to be doing quite well, especially with the double Greymane, double Li Ming, double Lucy. I mean, double anything of that team currently, except for double Abathur, would be very, very strong. We actually see Rexpa going ahead and rotating in with Taki here, I'm assuming, for the pickup onto this camp. Into top lane really quickly. Looks like Snarky Tiger is going to get chased out of the lane. Going to get a little bit more soak, and at this point, 10 should be realistically achieved for both teams. I would say in tandem almost. Bruiser Camp going to be picked up on both sides. It's going to be picked up a little earlier on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, but either way, still, I mean, it's that mid lane clashing. They'll get 10s fraction sooner, but overall, this is still going to be 10s before tribute for both teams, and this is honestly definitely where Drop Dead Gorgeous they need that. They need that definitely, because if they have that clone of a member of the team, they definitely can take some of these fights and dive in, especially they have something expendable too. So we'll be seeing here, we actually go for the throat, we break it down, we have Wave of Force, there is the Mosh from the ETC, we have the Avatar form, and we have the Evolved Monstrosity. Not Evolved Monstrosity, but the team going to be going out. We actually have a mosh pit connecting onto 5 members of the teams, or 4 members. No one is able to get out of there, taking so much damage. The result of that silence that was underneath, that was so hard. We actually have, oh my god, what a good fight. They're actually going to delay this out because of the fact that they got so many of the members killed there. They're going to delay this out, and this is really, really smart. What they did was, so since no one can contest them at this point, instead of wasting time during their own curse to pick up this boss, they're going to go ahead, pick up this boss, then get the curse point, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see them maybe clear bottom and rotate up to the aggressive side. I mean, Gust is up, so that'd be way too aggressive. I was like, I don't know, maybe they just push with boss and just get an extreme amount of value. Their entire team is here. They would be kind of missing 2 lanes of soak and allowing Abathur to push back a little bit, but at the same time, they've got a lot of good fight power. They can fight under the tower. There's not going to be that extra damage, so they definitely they've got a lot of things rolling in their favor on the side of Team Conflict. Let's just see how they take this fight. Pretty much everything is back up on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. Without a mini wave to fight and everything, they're definitely going to be backing off here, and that boss has taken little to 0 damage. And this is still 32 seconds on this curse, and we do have mid lane being pushed back by Trent at this time. Top is going to be soaked still by that Abathur, but bottom lane is this huge 5-man stack pushing down here. With the Chromie Artillery, with the zoning from the Stukov, I mean, there are too many things that they have on the side of Team Conflict for this very strong push. We actually have a stun coming out from the boss, won't be connecting onto any of the members. Looks like we do have a bit of damage coming out. Now, this is going to be the end of the curse, but they're currently pushing on to a keep with a... Pugs Not Drugs taking quite a bit of damage. Do have ETC actually sliding in, but Break It Down is used a little bit earlier. There is the Entomb from the Leoric there. We do have Glenda diving into the backline trying to get some damage out. We do have Snarky Tiger just using that Wraith Walk out. Trent trying to get some damage, trying to get a reset, but it looks like the Gust will also be pushing them back for that potential damage at all. And this is going to be the first keep of the game, falling at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. And it looks like they'll go ahead and spread out and just start to soak up their lanes. And this is going to be a very, very hard situation for some of these members on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, because you have to constantly manage that bottom lane. Now, another curse point going to be popping up in this mid-right position. They're going to be going ahead and putting some of those mines down to just kind of get vision, see what's going to be happening there as the members rotate in. They're also going to be making sure that they push up these lanes, and they're not going to be losing out too much here. And also, they really, really need to soak up for that 13. If they can pick up that 13, it's going to be very, very big for their team. Be able to, take an even fight on this next point and potentially get up to curse point themselves. So overall, let's just take a quick peek at build while some of these members run around the map just chasing each other here. We do have Lucio. Party Mix is just getting pretty close to finishing out here. Trent taking quite just half the health from a combo from Rexpa there as they were rotating. The Cocktail from Greymane only needs 2 more splash hits. Lucio's questing talent at 4 is doing, I think, is about halfway. So realistically, looks like we're getting through most of the questing talents, if not finished on some of them. We do have ETC done, as well as Chromie there. Her passive though is almost halfway through. Combo going to be going out onto Glenda there, and it's just doing just a significant amount of damage. It just really chunks this late in the game. It's only going to become more and more powerful. It looks like at this time that we do have Snarky Tiger just pushing up this top lane, which will be just at least getting them giving that experience value and not letting them get ahead. But Mule once again coming down and being the hero here. But we have a rotation up from the team, potentially getting that pick onto Leoric, but it's not going to be happening now. 30 seconds are called on this tribute. Some of these team members are going to be rotating into position. Pugs Not Drugs scouting out the Stukov, won't be getting the kill though. In bottom, looks like Joker 490 Frozen will be just pushing back this lane a little bit. Going to go ahead and fly right up into the team though. Not going to be taking any sort of aggressive flight for a Gust with that. Going to be saving that for any sort of dive, or maybe if they can get a re-engage onto something here. Tag going to be going out onto the Murda from Chromie. Another one going out onto Murden there, but a power slide out, and it's going to be a Stukov silence right underneath it. There is Chromie doing tons of damage. Pugs Not Drugs going to be following there really early into the fight. Trent trying to get some damage out onto some of these members, but in the middle of that slowing stance. ETC so low, able to power slide out, and the Murden will be falling next. The best they can do is try and poke something out, but Uniton's taking so much damage. Snarky Tiger going to be just walking forward, and it looks like this will just be another tribute in favor of Team Conflict. Now, they do have that mid lane pressure, but overall, with the 2 members dead at this point, they can go ahead and easily take this boss. Shouldn't be a problem for them at all. And overall, I mean, with this mid lane push, it will, open this up a little bit for them, for the members of Drop Dead Gorgeous, but this is really, really in favor of Team Conflict, and it's at this point sliding yourself in to try and get the experience value back in your favor and get the momentum back in your favor is really, really hard. So finding a solo pick is really the best option here, but the realistic thing is that's going to be the Falstead, who's got Gust, he's got Flight, he's got Barrel Roll. Well, he's got Gust right now, but my whole point is that there's so many assets with him. He is going to be also in that mid lane, just still stacking up that Seasoned Marksman, which he is getting to about halfway. Murden going to be jumping out, going to be taking quite a bit of damage. We do have Snarky Tiger diving in, trying to get that damage reduction, I believe, onto a couple of the members with that Royal Focus. Stun going to be going out from Murden there, trying to stack up those Qs a little bit more, but that's going to be a fort falling, and that is perfect timing on the members, or excuse me, for the members of Team Conflict. This is going to be another tribute in favor of, just position-wise. It will just be perfect for them. They're going to be able to throw that Slowing Sands out, providing a little bit of vision for them. But at this time, they'll probably see the majority of the team rotate up to just clear this out so they don't lose too much in top. But this is going to be in favor of the members of Team Conflict. It looks like they'll just rotate down. Now, the question is, with the advantage that they have, do they take the boss and potentially push to end? It's a little risky. And it looks like, I mean, if I was on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, I'd be like, that's what I'd be doing. I wouldn't want to push up the lanes. Yeah, they know. They know. Let's see this rotation as we get into this. Okay, so we do have Murden coming in from the top here. We do have a clone coming out. That is going to be 2 Greymanes. We do have a cocktail going out, but I believe... Okay, it won't be connecting onto anybody. Overall, I mean, they unleash the boss, but Chaos is taking a lot of damage. It is the clone. Overall, there is the Flailing Swipe that does come out. Mosh Pit actually goes off, but it doesn't connect onto anybody as the Flailing Swipe, I think, actually anti-synergizes there. Pugs Not Drugs going to be chasing Joker. Gust will be going out, so he turns around and goes right onto the ETC, but he does have a Power Slide and a Knockback, and it looks like they're able to get out of this. Combo going to be going out from Rexpa there. A lot of damage coming out from Bugs Not Drugs. There is the Avatar form pop there. ETC going to be sliding in. Power Break It Down used from the Lucio. ETC so low, but there is the Pushel that is popped from the Stukov, able to save so many of the members there. Unitas a little bit, just getting a little bit low here. Pugs Not Drugs going to be able to start collecting this, but no one's died yet. It still is in favor of the members of Team Conflict. Experience-wise, they sneak this away. Murden does jump out. Are they able to get out, as well as that will be Greymane finishing his stacking talent there, and he is able to get those cocktails completely finished. Now, they do need to rotate down because there was a little bit of damage going on to the core, but here's the great thing about Mule. Core's back at 100. They're doing fine. Do they bush? Are they bush partying for boss? No, it doesn't look like it. But they do move on to it at this point, and I think the danger pings are coming out, so the team does rotate back. We do have Clone up. We almost have... Oh, this boss is just exactly what they really, really want to be fighting over right now. They keep it leash, so it's not going to be losing too much health. Greymane Clone is going to be diving in at this time. Murden will be getting stunned out from one of the Chromie traps, but this time it is kind of just a burned clone. They do delay it out long enough to the point where the next tribute is up, and that's going to be very, very beneficial for the teams. And what I really liked about that, and I didn't notice until literally just as this tribute pops, is Drop Dead Gorgeous did a phenomenal job of just delaying for the last, like, I would say solid minute to 2 minutes of just potential boss and being down too. Like they took a point, or they took a tribute and denied a boss, while all under being, you know, under 16 talent tier. So it's pretty big, but at the same time, they need to worry about their bottom lane. They do not have a clone at this time, I do believe. We currently have a lot of damage coming out. That's going to be Pugs Not Drugs falling very early. The breakdown is used, but only onto Lucio. Mosh Pit going to be coming out. Will be interrupted there, but it looks like they're able to disengage from this, only losing Pugs Not Drugs. Trent a little bit low, but there is the teleport forward. Rex going to be trying to get a little bit of damage out, but it won't be happening. That is going to be another curse going over in favor of Team Conflict, and that is a huge minion wave in mid just to be clashing, which is perfect for the team as they're going to be rotating out of here. The other thing to consider is that is going to be 3 catapults in their core, but they rotated enough members back in time. Let's just note really quickly here, this mid fort just getting shredded by the archers of that wave, and they're going to be going ahead, and Team Conflict are going to be pushing into top here. Now, Greymane is back pretty much. Well, I was going to say every ultimate, but not really. Most of the a couple of the ultimates are back. We have the ultimate evolution here, so let's just see if that actually works. Also, correction, I said evolve monstrosity. I meant ultimate evolution earlier. So we do have the mule coming down just to try and keep that keep a little bit healthier. We do have those Snarky Tiger in that backline trying to do a little bit of damage as well as just disrupt here. Unitas going to be finishing that questing talent, as well as Rexpa finishing the passive onto Chromie right there. But it looks like they'll go ahead and back off at this time. Maybe go ahead. Chaos, this is going to be a clone that they're just going to be losing. Question is, do they go for the boss? It won't be happening. All right. So, at this time, we do have one catapult getting a little bit of damage into the core, but it's not going to be happening. A lot of these time traps coming out from Chromie. So they definitely know that they can see a couple of the members are over on their boss. It looks like they'll be rotating down onto their own. They start to chase this. They want to fight over this before 20s are achieved, and I think they want to burn this down before the members can get here. There are 3 time traps out though, so they do have the initial delay onto they have 1, So he does jump in. He actually gets stunned right there. There is Falstead is positioned in for the Gust here at this time. There is the Murden who does know that is coming out. The Gust does come out, but it's a little bit early. They do have one of the members on, but the mosh pit comes out. It's initially interrupted. They are on the boss. They actually steal it away on the side of Team Conflict. Leoric will be falling first in this, and we actually have a huge amount of damage coming out onto so many of the members of Drop Dead Gorgeous. Looks like Murden will be able to hop over the wall, but Li Ming will be falling. Unitas trying to get out of there, but Murden will actually also be killed by, I think, the boss there? And GGs are already thrown out, and they're going to be walking this boss down bottom lane, and I wouldn't be, yeah. I mean, they call it out themselves. Falstead going to be going ahead and flying, looks like straight. No, they want the kill onto the Lucio. The boop will go out, and it does have that extended range, but the power slide comes out as well. They get the kill onto him, and it looks like they will be pushing up this mid lane, and they will be pushing onto core, and as they said already, the GGs were thrown out. It's going to be game number 1 going over to Team Conflict. GG, well played. All right, internet issues have been solved, so it looks like we're going to go ahead and just burn through this draft really quickly. I am going to drink some water in the meantime because I need some. All right, we are back. Sylvanas was banned out as well as ETC. We're going to have the Chromie pick up. We're going to be having then the Greymane and the Stukov paired into... I can't remember what their healer was. It was, oh yeah, it was Garrosh. Garrosh and Alexstrasza. Okay. I'll just scroll up to my skin list again. I had to double check the timing on that, how long it was going to take, or how long the allowable drop time was, which I think is just 10 minutes for pretty much everything. Were we at this ban phase, I think? Yes? I'm pretty sure. But either way, welcome back to the stream. We are we're halfway through our series here. We've got Team Conflict on the left and Drop Dead Gorgeous on the right. Team Conflict winning the Cursed Hollow matchup here in game number 1. We're going to be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is also Team Conflict's map choice. So we'll see if this actually, you know, they took a pretty dominant showing on Cursed Hollow. I mean, that 9-minute keep was pretty big for them. Genji looks like will be the ban. I personally think you should have gone for that Diablo. I think he works really, really good. He's really, really strong with this composition. He's good on this map, too. Oh, but man. I think that's definitely the route you would go. I think you pick up the Diablo here, and then you also maybe pick up your solo laner just to grab it, and you pick up that Sonya. And then you flex on that last slot, maybe pick up a Zeratul and pick off the Chromie with it. Or even a Nova. Okay, so they go for a Nubrek and they actually go for Malthael here. And I'm wondering if they're thinking that Malthael would be stronger in the solo lane than the Sonya, which potentially could be. I mean, it's a case-by-case kind of situation. It could be more powerful, mostly because of the fact the player might be more skilled at it or, you know, has some tricks up their sleeve. But I do like the Nubrek. Definitely able to just web wrap and just completely turn a 5v5 into a 5v4, and also a healerless battle too. That's a really, really big benefit on the side of Team Conflict. But Drop Dead Gorgeous, these last 2 picks that they're going to be coming out with. I think they honestly go for the Sonya. And then on top of that, you just say screw it and you go for Azul. Actually, you could go Zul. Not Zul'jin. I don't know. I might go for Falstead. Okay. So they do pick up that Sonya, but they have the Falstead. I'm just thinking like they needed some sort of wave clear, and I guess the Falstead will rotate with the team, I'm assuming. They could kind of interchange it, realistically. Falstad could be in the solo lane or Sonya could be. Typically we see the Sonya, but you never know. This last slot, though, on the side of Team Conflict, I'm curious what they're going to be grabbing. They got their solo lane. They need... I guess they need wave clear. They could pick up a Jaina, Kael'thas. Ooh, a Gul'dan would be pretty powerful for them right now. I kind of like a Gul'dan. Kael'thas would be powerful, but Gul'dan would offer some good wave clear in these rotations. And poison in the fights getting into that backline. Might be hard for Alexstrasza to deal with that poison. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. I really, really like the Gul'dan pickup here. I honestly think this is a hard match for Drop Dead Gorgeous, mostly because of I don't. I played Alexstrasza earlier, and the thing that I felt like I struggled with, but I'm not a support main, so that's another issue that I have, is just healing through poison, and I honestly do not think as a solo support she heals through poison very well, especially late game Gul'dan poison. Yeeks, and then you have Malthael diving in there as well. Greymane to finish it up with Go for the Throat. Overall, this is a little bit scary on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, but we'll see. They do bring some big fighters in the match. I mean, Chromie, we saw in the last match, Chromie can do some damage, and then Falstad can blow up some members there as well. And then you also have the Sonya leaping in for just a lot of that just frontline bruisery, just strong boy damage. Well, strong girl damage, excuse me. We'll see. I'm curious. I really am curious to see how the Alexstrasza is going to be doing up against this Gul'dan. I think that's going to be the big weakness of the team, but we'll see. You never know. I'm also, I could just be a poor Alexstrasza player. I just needed a 5. I just need that gold in that chest. But let's go ahead and get into this. On the right-hand side, we are going to be having Drop Dead Gorgeous with Pugs Not Drugs on that Sonya. We have Glenda on the Garrosh. Chaos will be playing that Chromie. Trent on that Falstad. And rounding it out, we have Unitas on the Alexstrasza. On the left-hand side here, we have Team Conflict up 1 match. We have Taki on the Stukov. Joker 490 Frozen on that Greymane. Rex will be playing the Gul'dan. Quintaka on the Nubrak. And Snarky Tiger going to be playing that Malthael. Peeking into this mid lane, though, as we get into this matchup, we do have Gul'dan going to those corruption stacks. That is going to be difficult into the late game. We have Chromie picking up the stacking talent, I believe, at level 1 for her. I don't know the name offhand. The Mounting Sand. Garrosh actually going for the Unrivaled Strength. Yeah. And actually, Sonya going to be picking up that block as well. Interesting. Otherwise, nothing else too out of the ordinary. Do we have Malthael picking up Pale Horse? Or, excuse me, Feel the Reaper. A new Barian armor from the Nubrak doesn't seem too out of the ordinary. Overall, though, I really like this. So far, the rotations are going to be slowly coming out on the side of Team Conflict. Looks like shouldn't be too big of a deal for them to make these rotations as well as pick up some, maybe even a kill here, especially with the dive that they have. A lot of damage going on to Trent there, but we've Glenda kind of diving into this backline a little bit deep. We do have the healing circle coming out from Alexstrasza. Rexpa's trying to get a little bit of healing off of Glenda as well. We do have Nubrak taking quite a bit of damage. Chaos can be trying to poke into a couple of those members. We do have Nubrak taking, again, another shot there. Overall, I mean, the rotations are going to be pretty easy from these members. Looks like they dedicate their entire team for this. They get the toss onto Nubrak. Will get the burrow. The heal does go out. And looks like Joker 490 is able to get out without a problem. Rexpa going to go ahead and push up that top lane. Not going to get caught on this rotation. They go ahead and take the safe route themselves. We'll go ahead and steal a little bit of health to get some of that. And actually, Malthael being picked up in bottom, but Sonya will be falling. Luckily, Trent was down here to go ahead and pick up all of those spider gems that were dropped at the time being. But actually, Joker 490 going to be rotating down here, pick up some of the experience potentially lost, as Malthael does return right now. Tower's always got my back. It's good. We do also still have Rexpa in this top lane, just pushing this up ever so slightly, and it is getting quite a bit of value, as well as the fact that they're going to be missing out some of that experience pushing up that lane so quickly, not able to rotate their team in time. But they do get that healing circle out, and it will be getting them nice and healed up for that next rotation. We once again have Pugs Not Drugs going up against Snarky Tiger in this bottom lane. We'll try and peek down there every so often. Once again, Gul'dan just getting a bunch of stacks. Do have Chaos trying to poke into a couple of these members. Looks like Nubrek will be taking the most of that, but at the same time he does have the Nubarian armor, so it does counteract it pretty nicely for himself there. Snarky Tiger will be pushing this up, but they'll go ahead and just let the towers and Sonya clear that up. And realistically, this is just the race to 50. We're mostly seeing if a team can get a bit of a pick here, as well as potentially just whoever gets to the first 50 gems first. We have had a pretty even matchup, at least kill-wise. It's 1-to-1. Tower stealing one of the kills away, though, from Team Conflict there on that Sonya. But realistically here, they're doing a great job of making rotations on both sides. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just trying to see maybe some different talent picks here. Stun deals go out onto Nubrek, will not be followed up there. Another stack coming out from Rexpa, and realistically, I mean, this is the thing with Tomb of the Spider Queens. It's such a slow start to the map. I mean, turning in is, you know, there's some contest around that, and we are getting to that point, especially on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. They do have enough for turn in. Now the question is, can they actually get it in to the bank here? We have Sonya trying to turn in 11. Glenda will be rotating down at least to do the exact same thing. They might scout this out in time. They do get the Sonya. She does have the spear in, which is going to buy a little bit of time. There is the stun out from a Nubrek. Joker going to get zoned a little bit here, but there is the 20 turned in from the Garrosh there, so they do get that in. Now, Falstad trying to turn in that last 23, which will be enough, and the rest of the team will be rotating up. There is a little bit of an aggressive rotation from the Garrosh there. It looks like they do get the toss of Rexpa into the team. Will not be able to get focused down in time. Going to be able to poke out quite a bit of damage, but they do get the kill onto the Nubrek there. Trent able to barrel roll out, keeping those gems intact. They actually pick up the rest of the on the side of Team Conflict there, and actually Taki going to get blown out of position. Separated from the team. Rexpa getting a little bit low here, and it looks like he will stop to heal off of Pugs Not Drugs, who will actually get dove on. Healing does go out, and it will not be enough. Sonya will be falling in this engagement. Rexpa going to have to back off here a little bit low. Damage going to be going out through the gate there onto a couple of the members. But overall, it looks like they do pick up that kill, and are they able to stall this out? Once again, yes, Rexpa going to get another one of those stacks. Toss going to be coming out from Glenda. This looks like it will be the kill onto them, and Trent not able to get those in. Will have to back off here, getting another hammering out. And I was like, wait, he didn't go mage build? And I'm like, no, he's auto attack build. Gul'dan counters all of Alexstrasza's healing. That's the terrifying part about it. It's going to be really, really hard. We actually have a huge... The only thing is, Gul'dan can't counter Alexstrasza if Gul'dan's dead with all the Chromie poking, but it looks like they still get the turn in on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. They will be getting this first gem count in. And with it, that's pretty powerful for them. They've also pushed up the lanes a little bit here. They might get a potential kill onto Joker 490 Frozen here, but it does not look like it's going to be happening. We do have the Pugs Not Drugs getting friendly tossed out of the fight there just to make sure that they stay safe. Don't want to be staggering a death in this situation. Do have the Web Weaver falling down into the bottom lane. Realistically, I wouldn't be too surprised to see some of these members rotate up into that top and prioritize that boss lane. It is pretty powerful to have that opened up for your team. But at this time, it looks like they'll be walking into mid. We do have a Nubrek rotating in. Gonna dodge that stun. The burrow will be going out. They get right out, but there is a huge amount of damage coming out from Chaos into the Nubrek trying to go through that gate. Overall, though, it looks like these members will be pushing down the mid with this Web Weaver. I don't expect them to get a crazy amount of value here. They're about half a level away from 10s. Chaos getting quite a bit of damage there out onto Rexpa with that temporal loop there. The toss goes out onto Taki, and he will get the kill onto the Stukov there. Snarky Tiger in that backline is actually going to get dove on, and at this time, that is in a very bad spot. Toss went out from Garrosh. Friendly toss onto Pugs Not Drugs. It looks like they do want to stun a few of these members. They get the kill onto the Sonya, but they get the kill onto the Nubrek as well. Joker 490 trying to get a pick, and they get the kill onto the onto the Falstead as well as the Garrosh, and they start to turn this around. Chaos getting a little bit of healing from Unitas, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot. There is the Dragon form that is going to delay, I believe actually canceled out the poison from Rexpa there. So with that, I think that they actually, yeah, they're able to save 2 of their members. They don't stagger more deaths, and it's 10 to 10s, and with this little bit of downtime, well, Rexpa will be turning in. Let's talk about some of these 10 talents. We have that Web Wrap, we have Flailing Swipe, we have Tormented Souls, Curse Bullet, as well as Fear. So a lot of good control, a lot of damage coming out from the members of Team Conflict in these fights. But at the same time, we have Wrath of Berserker, we have Temporal Loop, we have Warlord's Challenge, as well as Gust, and then we just saw Cleansing Flame, if I'm correct? Cleansing Flame. So with that being used, they don't have that healing burst as potential also backline damage, as I was kind of using it in my quick match, and I actually ended up getting like MVP. I don't know how, I died way too much, but either way, a little bit of poke damage going to be coming out from some of these members, and you can see already the damage over time that Rexpa can do with those stacked up corruptions stacks. So a lot of big poking damage coming out behind this gate, but overall the Stukov utilizing that lurking arm for the zoning to make sure that these members are backed off and they realistically can't get into the members of Team Conflict and really slow this down. So bottom is cleared out by Pugs Not Drugs, but they'll go ahead and rotate into top, which was opened up quite a bit. Well's going to be knocked out, and this tower is getting shredded. The question is, are they able to stop it in time? Doesn't look like it's going to be happening, and they're going to move up the lane a little bit further. I was going to say that might be a little risky if they move up the lane like that. Chromie going to dump a little bit of sand into that lane, and realistically here, I don't think they have enough for another turn in. I'm trying to do math off the top of my head. They actually, no, they do, yeah. I was like, it looks high, but I'm not sure. No, they do have enough for a turn, and they could go for back-to-back turn-ins here, and it looks like they are postured up for that. And it does not look like the members of Drop Dead Gorgeous are really prepared to counter it as well as even stop it. They do, yeah, they're not sure really where they're turning in at this point, and it looks like they will get the majority of their turn in here. Rexpa holding the majority of those spider gems as well. They do get the toss onto Snarky Tiger here. The taunt does go out onto so many of the members, and Malthiel taking so much damage at this time, but the Tormented Souls is keeping him alive for a split second. There is the Alex Strauss who's trying to stay alive, but the Fear does go out, and that is Garrosh falling very early. We also have Alex Strauss going into the Cleansing Flame, which will keep her alive for the time being. Gonna get some healing out onto a couple of the members. Is Anubrak able to stay up? It is not going to be happening, and we actually have Joker 490 being chased now. It is 3 for 2 in this fight. Overall, winning on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous here. Getting those 2 kills was big for them, but at the same time, Web Weavers are pushing in, so they need this D push, and this doesn't really buy them any time to do anything. Top, they can probably let that go, potentially. But this bottom will be a priority. Snarky Tiger in this bush here. Not going to be showing, not going to get scouted out. That could have been big for Pugs Not Drugs there, but it looks like it won't be happening. And they go ahead and they rotate a couple members up here to get this clear as well. Now in mid here, we do have Chromie going in, and oh no, they're going to be just rotating up into the top lane, potentially looking for a pick as they get this rotation. No, they're going for a dive under a couple of the members of the Gust for the disengage right away, but Snarky Tiger still diving in. It looks like he will be getting out onto Glenda, doing a little bit of damage, but with the Gust now down, they go ahead, get that sidewall out of there. They don't want to deal with that, but the big thing is they get this, they go for boss. There's no boss control anymore on the side of Team Conflict, and Gul'dan is there, which means they have that Horrify. So will be scouted out by Chaos, who's going to go ahead and just get another stack onto that Q. It looks like they're going to be moving in right away, though. We do have the Flailing Swipe coming out as well, and there's the Garrosh, who's going to be going ahead and getting web wrapped in this situation. Going to still be walking out onto the point here. Looks like he will be falling. We do have this boss being picked up and is going to be marching down the top lane. There is a stun coming out. Pugs Not Drugs able to get out of there. Meanwhile, Chaos is trying to just dump sand in the backline, making sure that these members take some damage, as well as I think Unitas trying to get some damage out as well. Stun going to be going, or excuse me, Spear going to be going in from Sonya there, trying to get some damage onto the boss and just poke it out. But it will be getting this gate, as well as Rexpa poking in with those corruption stacks are pretty devastating. I believe I heard Curse Bullet go off there, but I don't know if it connected onto any of the members. Once again, Chromie's just going to be dumping more sand in the back line, and overall, I don't know if they're going to be going for this keep. All the members are back in time. It's 14-14 they get, and that's actually Chromie finishing her stacking talent, which is going to change it a little bit for her. They get that a little bit of vision as well as, you know, that potential extra snipe from the mirror vision, from the mirror, and no, they went timeout. Nubrak once again. Oh, trying to predict the burrow there. It's not going to be happening. And this time, realistically, both these teams are going to be pushing into the mid, soaking up for 16s and poking and just not really trying to take a fight, just trying to work for more gems. 32 are on the side. Ooh, Snarky Tiger gonna get cleansed out. There is the silence going out from the Stukov, who isn't going to be getting interrupted, but there is the toss onto Rexpa into so many of the members of the team. The flailing sweep just go out, but there's the taunt as well, taking so much damage. The Horrify does go out and separates them from getting the damage onto him. There is the toss onto Pugsnot Drugs to keep them out, but there is Garrosh, who is currently in the web wrap. Pugsnot Drugs going to be trying to spin to stay alive. We have Alex Straza falling here, and it looks like Garrosh will be the next one as well to fall. So they lose 2 members in this situation, and they don't have enough for turn-in, but they do deny the turn-in on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. And with that, okay, they're going to be sneaking the camp. They go into Chaos here, who does have the timeout, and this silence is right underneath, and they are prepared for this. Gul'dan actually falling to the Falstead there. I did not even notice. Excuse me. But yeah, Gul'dan actually going to be picked off by Falstead there, so they go ahead and we'll be just rotating onto this camp. This should be able to get them into the mid lane as well as potentially take down the keep front gate. With the Chromie being dead, they don't have a lot. Well, no, Falstead's back up in mid lane. They should be able to take this fine, or at least defend this fine. Gust is available too if they do need that massive disengage, but I don't think they're going to be needing that. Boss isn't up for another 2 minutes. The best thing they can do is go ahead and pick up their own bruiser camp, maybe rotate someone down onto the siege. As well as the other thing they have to note here is that we have to make sure that these members on the set of Team Conflict, they do prioritize these turn-in points because they only need 1. They only need 1 on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, and I'm not saying it's going to be game-ending, but they do scale as the game goes on, and they are becoming more and more powerful here, so it's something to consider in this matchup, how powerful these Web Weavers can be, especially with top being this far, this opened up. But with the members all up and ready on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, it looks like they're going to be trying to go for this bottom position. Stun goes go out onto Pugsnot Drugs. This could be the last big fight of the game, potentially. Heal goes out as well. Let's go ahead and we're just going to pull away the talents really quickly so we can see all this fight. Toss goes out onto Frozen Joker. Looks like it won't be picked up, but there is actually a web rep that just go out onto Falstead. Looks like that will be cleared out right away. So some of these are huge taunt going out from the Garrosh, but he's taking so much damage himself. There is the Falstad Gust as well. Glenda taking so much damage, but he will be throwing Joker into that backline, taking so much damage. Will be losing the Greyman as well. So 2 members going to be falling on the side of Team Conflict. Stun going to be going out onto a Nubrak. They will be getting the burrow, but I think it was canceled way too early there. Spin going to be going out from Sony. They pick up that kill as well, and they haven't lost a... Garrosh will be falling here. Pugsnot Drugs going to be taking a little bit of damage from Rexpa. The push will be happening, and a lot of damage going out from the Chromie. But at the same time, they end up getting the Web Weavers here, and now the lanes are pretty far pushed up. Web Weavers do have a very slow spawn time, so there is potential for them to push up these lanes a little bit in favor of Drop Dead Gorgeous and get some value from this. But overall, their top lane, where this is the big priority push lane, definitely going to be quite a long ways out. Bottom looks like it's going to be cleared out by Stukov and Gul'dan very, very quickly. I don't expect this to get a lot of value, but top lane should be able to get decent amount here. Falstead, the other thing to note, Alex Straza is at 17 out of her 20 stacks for her level 1 Q. Falstead's overstacked. Chromie's overstacked. Gul'dan is probably way overstacked. Curse Bolt going to be going out there, not going to be connecting. It looks like he will get the clear onto one of those time traps there. Webweaver going to be pushing into this mid fort. It looks like it will be getting cleared before the fort even goes down. So still, 18s on either side. Experience is pretty even. This top needs to be responded to, and they know that. So I think they're going to rotate down into bottom. No, they're going to rotate into mid, get the clear, get a little bit more of that experience advantage. Now let's go ahead and take a quick peek. I wish it gave me totals. Okay, so they're actually, the other thing to know is that on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, they only need 3 more. They need a minion wave. They need these 3 for themselves. But they're back-to-back Web Weavers potentially with Malthael top. They should really prioritize getting those. Okay, so Garrosh, they have exactly 60, and these members on the side of Team Conflict, they're going to be looking to block this turn-in Trent going to be going ahead and trying to turn in at first here. Looks like he'll be able to get that in right away. So that's a big chunk of change. Now Pugs Not Drugs just needs to do the same. A couple of the other members, and they should be just fine. Now, Team Conflict, they want to stop this as quickly as possible, and it looks like they're just going to go ahead and sneak up into the top lane before they make this rotation. They get the majority of the turn in here, so they only need 6, which is pretty much everything in their bank. They get the toss onto the Anubrak, who's taking quite a bit of damage, but Trent at the same time is taking quite a bit himself. Gust is not available at this time. They also do have the Horrify for a potential disrupt if they really need it, but it does not look like it's going to be happening as the Time Trap does come out, or excuse me, the Temporal Loop out from the Chromie, but there was a huge Horrify that did also stop the combo from happening. There's a really, really big on the side of Team Conflict, and this back and forth is absolutely insane. I mean, these teams, they're trying just to get this last little turn on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous, and they're doing a phenomenal job on the side of Team Conflict to deny this. I mean, this is much of what we saw last game, but almost reversed, where Drop Dead Gorgeous denied a boss and a tribute pickup for the members of Team Conflict. But it looks like at this time they're going to go ahead. They've split their members across, not across the map. Can they get this turned in? The other big thing is, can they start boss? Or it's a little risky. They go ahead, they get the turn in. So this is 18-minute Web Weavers. They're not, they're starting to get pretty powerful. They've got a mid camp that also has spell damage reduction, so they're going to want to try and clear out that mage as quickly as possible, because that's going to offer them a lot up against the damage that Rexpa can be doing here. It looks like they'll go ahead and get this this clear onto the fort very easily. They also get the clear onto that camp as well. Web Weavers will time out perfectly with this, though, so they're going to be spawning into the mid lane just as they get the fort here. 20s are also achieved on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. We have Piercing from the Chromie. We have the upgrade for Warlord's Challenge. We have the upgrade for Cleansing Flame. Sonya's still holding. I'm assuming it's going to be the Ignore Pain or Nerves of Steel. Ignore Pain. Nerves of Steel is at 16. At this point, though, they poke this out, and they just realistically, this doesn't really go over in anyone's favor. Well, it goes over in favor of the members of Team Conflict, because they're not going to be losing out a keep or anything. But once again, another siege has mounted in bottom lane. This one still not as strong, but once again, Gul'dan just offering so much to this team. Also, Chromie just trying to poke into that backline. Pugs Not Drugs going to be diving in here, trying to open up this gate, but unfortunately, because of that Gul'dan, it's just so hard to just get into there. There is actually the Temporal Loop that ended up coming out. Stun does go out. There is the toss onto Rexpa here. There's a taunt as well. They actually get the kill onto Gul'dan, but there's also the web wrap onto the Garrosh, so they potentially, no, they're not going to be losing out any members. They currently have top keep just fell. Also, just to note really quickly, it has a Web Weaver amassed in top. And it looks like they're just going to back off with this advantage and go for boss, I would assume. They don't have Gul'dan for another, 40 seconds, so boss call is like their only call realistically. Otherwise, they were just, they should have stayed and pushed on this bottom fort, which looks like it's going to be going to be picked up. At least quite a bit of damage is going to be coming out from the minions, but no, so this is really, really risky. One, they see them through the minion wave. They know that they're coming. Gust is not available. I don't think they can take this. Mostly, they're just going to be trying to poke in. The other big thing is not to stagger a death in this situation. And this could be potentially really bad. The Anubrak does get the burrow through, but that is, I don't think it's far enough. There is the taunt out from the Warlord's Challenge, and especially there was that upgrade, which I believe is extended the duration. No, it's just the cooldown reduction, so it's just you can do it more often, which is terrifying. But at this time, I mean, Anubrak staggered death. Chromie Temporal Loop. I don't think they're... Ooh, a little bit slow there, but we do have Joker 490. Frozen going to be getting dove on from... Ooh, the toss onto the Malthael, who will get taunted as well. There's the Flameless Swipe that pushes once again. There is the Cleanse that does go out. The Malthael does use Tormented Souls, but the boss is currently on the core. Now, this is about a 20-minute boss here. Rex was trying to poke out some of these members. There's 30 seconds till Anubrak is back. I believe Sonya just popped Wrath of Berserko. They start to dive. Falsa does die really, really quickly here. We do have Joker 490 Frozen as well. Going to be falling here, and they stagger a couple deaths, and it looks like the core is starting to fall, but so many of the members of Drop Dead Gorgeous are falling here, and it's just the core, and it's boss and Pugs Not Drugs, and it looks like the GGs are called out. That's game number 2 going to be going over to Drop Dead Gorgeous, and they will tie out the series. GG, well played. All right. What a great matchup. Go Conflict. They can win this game. They honestly. Whew. All right. I thought of another question I wanted to ask whoever, because honestly I was just like whoever I end up interviewing, like they're definitely gonna be. I have like I can ask either team, but let me go ahead and message the captain for that team and let them know that we are in lobby 1. See if we can just get this member in here. We'll go ahead and introduce them really quickly. Boop, 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 boop. All right, let me make sure that they didn't jump in a different lobby this time. All right. We are going to actually be having Glenda with me. So, Glenda, congratulations on the victory of game number 2. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
And was I say, well, hold on. It's Glenda, right? I'm not saying your name wrong, like in some weird way.
It's Gelda, for sure. Gelda.
I knew it. I was just like, it's probably something else. Like Glenda's, that doesn't work. So Gelda, Gelda, congratulations on your win. Oh my God, that was a phenomenal matchup. I mean, the back and forth that you guys and Team Conflict had between this entire season was phenomenal. Oh my God, it was so many good back and forths. So I got to ask you, because I mean, this question went to both teams realistically, but Cursed Hollow, 15-16, Curse, or not Curse, I think it was actually Curse Deny. And you stole that, and then you also boss denied too. Like, tell me, like, on comms and like strategy, like, how did you guys even go about that? That's ridiculous.
Well, we were just thinking that we kind of had to do it. It was a do or die moment. We fell too far behind with the Abathur comp early in that game, and we were in this situation where they had the chance to get the curse and the boss, which was how they ended up winning the game, right? Mm-hmm. So they had the chance to do that when it was 16-15. It was like, we got to do it. We got to go right now. And we used Clone, and Clone was able to zone him up, and we were able to get a pick on, I don't remember which character, but I think we got a pick on someone, and it kind of just let us turn the tide there. And we just kind of, everyone was feeling it morale-wise, and everyone was kind of in the zone. There wasn't like too much talking on the comms. It's good though.
I was blown away because I was just like, this goes against like everything that you're like trained and everything you ever see and everything. Right? It's just like, it's like 15-16. Like I was even saying it myself. It was just like, they pretty much like, they can poke this, but they can't take it. And I'm like, you stole it away, which made it actually, I'm remembering now, you stole it away, which made it 2-2 on curse points. And then you literally just delayed out the boss until the next tribute point, because if they picked up that boss, it would have gone straight to your core at that point because they had already, snuck that keep at 9 minutes, which.
Right.
Whew.
Yeah, so it was a high pressure game. That Cursed Hollow game was really intense, and it was our map too, so we had a lot of pressure to win it. But it was good. I'm glad we were able to come back in the second game and redeem ourselves a little.
And so let me talk to you about game number 2. Is actually how to transition into that. Kind of actually the reverse thing happened towards the end of that game where you guys needed to turn in literally, like I was sitting there doing the math. I was like, they need 6. They need to turn in 6. And so I was just like, and then the enemy team just started gating you guys, and you were just like, all right, we'll go, boss.
It was yeah. So what happened there was we had like the perfect amount to turn in, but we had 6 gems on 3 different people. Yep. So it was kind of hopeless. They were defending way too well for us to do that. But we kind of regrouped and able to sneak it. I feel like because they were showing people top and bottom right consecutively, and that's how we kind of knew that the top one would be open. So we snuck it. And then after that, we were able to pick up the boss because of a few lucky picks. I mean, I got a really lucky pick at the bottom on the Gul'dan, right at their keep, and it was actually really funny that moment in comms because we were like, pull back, right as I had thrown him. So it was like, oh, we're kind of in now.
I think I even noted on stream, I was just like, they got a pick on Gul'dan, they're pushing the bottom lane, and they're backing off. And then I was like, they have to be going boss at this point. Like, there's no other choice. Like, so. Yep. And just one very, very quick question before we kind of wrap this up. How were comms during that last little bit when you guys were attacking core? Was there a little bit of a nerve? Because like I started watching health bars drop very quickly.
Keep Sonya alive on core. That's the only thing I remember.
Well, before I let you, Gelda, thank you so much. Before I let you go, do you want to any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I want to shout out my team. We're a bunch of hardworking dudes, but it's really fun playing this game, and we have a lot of people that support us, like our girlfriends. So I'll shout out them too. But no one else loves us, so no one else gets a shout out. Shout out to you. Thank you for casting our game, and
Oh,
shout
I
out to
appreciate it.
NGS
Thank
for
you.
putting on this awesome league. It's really fun playing in this league, so really cool.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on that nice game number 2, kind of evening up the matchup. So you guys are going to be taking 1 point. I think the standings are pretty much like, I don't think there's
Yeah,
anyone who's like super far ahead at this point. Is there?
we have 2 draws, so I don't know. We're at
Okay.
2 points, so like
Okay.
nothing too dramatic going on. Someone might have 2 wins, so it would look really dramatic.
It's true. It's only, we're only in week 2, but thank you so much again, Gelda. I want to
Thank
make sure
you.
I get your name right this time.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna go watch the stream and giggle the whole time.
Of Glenda going in his garage.
Love
Thank you
it.
so much for the interview, and you have a great night.
You too, man. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So with that is going to be wrapping up the stream for me. I just want to thank you guys so much for swinging.